Now we're recording. Hi, Amanda. Okay, so just to recap, because I just started recording, I wanted everybody who's starting the Zoom to write down, to finish the sentence. So write down I am and finish that with I am whatever describes you. I am limitless. I'm great. I'm worthy. I'm deserving. I'm committed. I'm determined. I'm triple diamond. I'm ambassador diamond. Write it down and then post it in the comments. But I want you to take that piece of your paper and stick it right in front of where you work, which is probably wherever you're sitting right now. Although sometimes I do it in bed and I don't work from my bed. Make sure. So, yeah. So, okay. We're going to get started. So besides knowing how amazing you are and knowing what rank you deserve and knowing that we don't want to manifest this stuff anymore, the thing I loved about hanging out with AT on Sunday was that she basically took my doubts about myself and the things that I already knew, but really said, stop doing that. Just stop. Stop thinking like that. Stop doing those habits. Stop catering to other people and realize that your business is your business. Stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting your leadership. And she just kind of did this over and over again. And it was like, ow, it hurts, it stings, but I love it and I need that. And it's one of those things where I feel like to start the Zoom, everybody needs to know that I've lost triple diamond. I lost triple diamond, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. And then I had to realize why. And then I had to realize that some of it's out of my control and some of it is, and the parts that are, I can take over again. And realizing that I am worth it, and I am worth the work, and I am worth the effort, and I'm worth the training. So it's just... Avia just says things, taking emotion out of the business and just says, go and do it and take action. But she says it in ways that are like, so I had a really, really great time with her. But one of the first things we talked about was, who's ever built someone that didn't want it or because he thought they needed the money?
Needless to say, everybody's gone through this.
You put somebody in your chart because you're like, they need the money.
So obviously they're going to work. I mean, I know in my situation, if I need money, I'm going to work. But I mean, not everybody thinks like that. So she put something out there that kind of really resonated with us.
Yeah. So she literally asked us, what if instead of building somebody that needs the money, and you said instead, what if I built myself for real instead of, basically you're building this one person fake. It's not a real team. It's not a real leg. It's not a real Ruby. It's not a real executive. You're doing it out of a place of guilt. You're doing it out of a place of frustration. You're doing it out of a place that's not a happy way to build. So
verbatim, like what you said was, all right, so you're building somebody so they can get like a $2,000 check or whatever it is. What if you gave that same person a $2,000 check? They would still be grateful and they would still be appreciative of you, but you're saving yourself the work that you have to do every month to make sure that person gets a check.
So basically, say you built, a cousin that needed an extra $200 a month to put groceries on our table. But they didn't actually want it for the right reason. So they just stopped working. They weren't genuine about it. They didn't have the passion for the company that we do. And then you build that person to $200, and then that leg keeps crumbling because you put that in a promotion spot, and it's exhausting and it's frustrating because that leg just crumbles and crumbles and crumbles and crumbles and crumbles. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep putting LCs under you, and you feel stuck because they're in a promotion spot. But what if you started making so much money because you built high and wide that your check started doubling and tripling, and you promoted and you brought up new leaders, that you you all of a sudden have an income where you're like, hey, do you need $200 to put food on your table? Here's $200. What if you could afford to give that person a $5,000 check because your income is growing and growing and growing, and you're building for real, and you're building in a way that's not stressing you out, that you get to hand out money to people who genuinely need it. I'm not saying just like, but I'm saying give it to people who need it, and that and that you love.
That is recorded.
Actually, anyways, I've been sending that gift a lot.
But like the whole thing with it is like they love the idea of getting paid, but they don't love the idea of working.
Yeah. So taking that guilt out of your business and stop building in guilt is so. I've done it so many times.
It's essential. Like it absolutely is essential.
And even just building the people that are loud, and we all have somebody on our team that's like, I'm doing this, but doesn't work. They just are in groups, or they're talking about it all the time, but they don't actually do anything. And then when they don't get paid, who do they come to first, and who are they mad at? Us, because we did it. And they're expecting, why didn't you help me again? They don't care that you have 2 other people or 4 other people or 500 other people. I have 563 active distributors that aren't like, nobody cares about the other 562 distributors. They just care about themselves. So if you do it for them, who are they going to get mad at when they don't get paid? The second part of that was spouses. And for some people it might apply to, and some people it might not, but she literally... That
was a disclaimer on my part. Just
Mike was sitting right there, but I remember when I started my business, I signed up Mike, and then I couldn't build Mike. I just couldn't justify it in my head for so long, and then when I did get to it, it's just like it was building a person that wasn't there. Over and over and over and over again. It doesn't exist. There's no leader there. There's no person on that team doing it with you. It's different when I'm working with, at the time I was working with Monique and I was working with Jenna, and it was like, I signed a loyal. Okay, I signed a loyal. We're matching each other.
So you gotta think to yourself, if you're that team's leader for your spouse, then you're not leading your own team.
Yeah.
Because every team needs a leader. What you've decided to do is, rather than being at the top of your chart, you're at the top of theirs.
And at the top of yours. So she didn't say don't sign your spouse, but ask yourself why you're signing your spouse. Like for me, I have Mike, and Mike works, and he signs. Sometimes he's outsigned me, and that makes me really mad, and then we stop sleeping in the same bedroom, and it gets really weird because I'm like, but that's just competitiveness. But I am so lucky that I have a spouse that signs, and most people don't have that, because even if you retire yourself, or you're a stay-at-home mom, or whatever the reason you're doing it works, and your spouse is off working, it's exhausting building your husband.
And you know what? It doesn't even just apply for spouses. We've done this in our business too, where I've signed up like my sister or something, or like, man, my sister could really use the money. I'm going to put her on my top line, and we'll get her a check.
Yeah.
You know what ends up happening? You put half your loyals there, half your loyals to somebody's working, half your loyals to somebody else is working, and it burns you out.
So ask yourself why you're signing your spouse. Is it a double income? But if you think about it, because you're struggling to build a team under them, what if you just build higher and wider? So this was something that blew my mind, because I know that I've been training Dare to be Diamond for 3 years to only place for promotion. And April was taught that. April was taught by other people to do that. And we've always been taught only place for promotion. So even if you lose rank, only place in promotion spots. But AFIO was like, why? You're throwing away enrollments out of obligation. You're throwing away somebody to 2% when they could be 10% or 15%. Why are you doing that? And I literally just sat there and was like, I don't know, because I always thought this is the way I was supposed to promote. And so building higher and wider you're giving yourself the option to bring up leaders higher in your chart, because I know I can look at my chart and probably go at least 25 deep, and that person on the 25th level that is a rock star,
Tammy.
the person at the like this really deep crazy level. Am I cutting out for everybody? Oh my God. Not for you. Chrissy, am I cutting out for you? Jenna? No? Okay. Then I don't think it's my internet. I do have shitty internet, but
Could it be possible on the receiving end?
it might be my hillbilly internet. Tammy, do you have hillbilly internet too? Okay, I'm gonna hopefully continue. If I do start cutting out, everybody raise their hand. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so when you're building higher and wider, you're giving an opportunity to yourself to bring up a leader that's higher. So if a person's 25% or 25 deep, that's a 2%. That's all we're getting on people that deep in our chart is 2%. So they can go diamond and be these huge rock stars, and then we get nothing out of it. If you really think about it, when your teep goes that low, you're getting 2%, even out of 10,000 GV. That's what, $200?
It's not a lot.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how to do math. So if I'm wrong.
Exactly.
Actually, Chrissy's husband is like my walking calculator. So if you bring that person, so Athea said, if you were to establish a rule for yourself that you're only willing to build so deep, so you bring in a new person and it's your, yeah, exactly, building rubies on your top line. That's exactly what she said. Executives and rubies. Because she said if you build 10 wide and they're all ruby executive, ruby executive, ruby executive, ruby executive, at least 2 of those legs are going to take off. You're going to bring up a new leader on your top line, and you're going to get paid so much better on that. And even if you only had 10 wide rubies and executives, your check is going to be so freaking good. And just you're spending that time on each person. So how the comp plan breaks down is your first line and your second line are 10%. Your third line and your fourth and your fifth line are 5%. And your sixth line is where that 2% infinity starts. So if you made a rule and she said, say I sign 15 people, and that 16th person, I'm going to start a new top line. Or you set a goal like up until the 6th line, that's where I'll build to, then I start a new top line. So it's setting that rule for yourself, what you're willing to do for your team and that new leg you're building, and then saying, okay, I spent all my time on you. I gave you all my love. It built you to this leadership position. I'm sorry.
I can.
I think I'm going to burp. Okay.
But you just told her.
I know, but I can say it, not do it. So it's what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice with your enrollments and not throwing them away out of obligation. Don't go deeper and deeper and deeper in sacrificing your check, because at the end of the day, are we not all here to make money?
And if I can elaborate on that, like the whole way this business model works is you're training other people to be leaders. If you just keep throwing people to prop them up, they're not learning. So
yeah, and we're gonna get into that. Okay, so the other part of this was fast start bonuses. So one thing that I am slowly learning is that I need to get better at distributors and stop saying I can't sign them, because fast start bonuses and once you get to diamond and cabs are life. And the Duns have said this over and over and over and over again, that they built to where they are by chasing fast start bonus. They'd sign one distributor, chase a fast start bonus, sign another distributor, chase a fast start bonus. And then every time the kids are amazing. And the reason I stressed this last time is that when you oversign and then you miss like 10 fast start bonuses, I know that rocks my confidence. I know I start to feel really crappy about myself. And then I'm like, that's like $4,000 that I left on the table, and it hurts and it's awful. Yeah, that's how much money I lost as a double coded person to all these people. That's how much I lost. And it's because I over-enrolled. And even though I didn't think I was over-enrolling, I probably should have signed 0 people and just helped people faster bonus their people. But I just signing one person, faster qualifying. Sign one person, faster qualify. Build those building blocks. Set your goal for each leg that you're going to build. Build high and wide and invest in those people. When you over enroll and you can't control it anymore, you're setting yourself and your leaders up for failure, because you aren't able to give your attention to 20 people as well as you are with 3 people or 4 people. Yeah, and then she shared this story. Okay. Yeah, she shared the story about this one girl who she got faster qualified, and you know how we announce that people are faster qualified? Like, they got their 2 LCs.
They're eligible for weekly bonuses.
Yeah, because they're faster qualified. Do any newbies actually know what that is? Do they know what that means? So this one girl got faster qualified, set up her auto shipment, has her e-suite running, and didn't do anything because she's sitting there waiting for her faster bonuses. She's waiting for her weekly bonuses. And then she ended up messaging a whole bunch of people and was like, where's my weekly bonuses?
I'm faster qualified.
I got 2 little customers, even if she didn't. I don't know if she signed hers or somebody gave them to her, but if he was like, why do we announce them being faster qualified? That's for our benefit, but they didn't do anything and they didn't learn anything about it. So
it's almost better to like mention something that's pertinent to them. Like right now we still got the shopping spree. Like,
wait till they earn their first faster bonus. That's what I learned. Stop announcing people for accomplishments they haven't reached yet. Yeah, so I thought that story was actually really funny. Okay, so the next part we learned is giving too much responsibility to our distributors or being control freaks. I'm a little bit of both, and this is where I kind of felt like I was running my business. I've been running my business for 3 years. No, you're gonna hear it, Tammy. I see you shaking your head. This is where I felt like I learned a lot. So, yeah, things are going to change. It's just crazy.
There's going to be some changes around here.
But they're going to be really good changes. Okay, so giving too little responsibility giving somebody who's new too much responsibility. So the first one that she talked about was when you sign somebody who's special, like somebody you really, really believe in, somebody you sign and you're like, they have a fire, they're amazing. And then you give them to a leader on your team that they think they'll click with and whatever. And I do this all the time. And then I complain about it. Is you give a distributor to somebody, and then say I gave one to Mike. And then I was like, hey, Mike, I signed this super awesome person. Take care of them. Have fun. This is going to change your chart, whatever. And then Mike quits, and then that person quits, and then this whole Ruby leg is dead. And you're like, what happened? This person was special. Mike was special. I mean that in the nicest way. And then getting frustrated with everybody. I've done this so much. I mean, yes, right? We've all had these as leaders. We've had these conversations. So then
she gave that analogy, right?
Yeah, Afia gave this analogy. And she said, and most of you are moms, she said, if you were to give your children to a babysitter, would you expect that babysitter to raise your kids better than you do? No, because you're going to take better care of your kids and raise them better than the person you gave them to take care of them. So why would you expect when you give it to a leader for them to take better care of your new distributor than you would? You never know what either of them are going to turn out to. So why give that responsibility to this person and then give this person less care? And especially once you hit diamond and that person goes diamond, you're diamond coded to them. So you're going to get this huge bonus on them. So why would you give that to somebody else? Why wouldn't you take better care of them? And then when people lose that confidence in their leader, and then the person you gave that to loses confidence in themselves because they don't know how to take care of that person. You have two people who don't feel confident anymore. They both quit. And at the end of the day, confidence is only built by doing. So you need to teach your new distributor how to enroll customers and how to enroll a distributor, but you also need to build their leader to have that same confidence. So they need to learn how to enroll a distributor and enroll a loyal customer. That's why matching is really good. But even if you're trying to build quick, you can't just dump their team on them. You have to do that one-on-one. You have to take the responsibility of all these people. And I know that sounds overwhelming. And that's where I literally said to Athea, I've been lazy. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've been introducing leaders to new distributors and leaders to new distributors over and over and over again and not taking care of my people. And that was just huge. And then the next part was huge. So then we started talking about charts. And everybody knows, oh my God, it just said, here is a gift. We removed the 40-minute time limit on your first group meeting.
It's a sign. This meeting is now unlimited.
That's so perfect. Okay.
You guys have to listen to Samuel.
So the charting part. Everybody knows that I am a charting spaz. I'm a freak. I control everything. Nobody can do it as well as I can. I am so ridiculous with that. And so at the beginning of the month, I chart like 50 people. And that's been my thing. And I love it. I'm proud of it. And I told Athea that. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know, because they want to know. And then she's like, do you give that chart to anybody? And I was like, yeah. I hand it out to a lot of people, and even people that have done their charts, I send it to. And it's like, she was like, but how does that benefit them? And I was like, because it's done. They know what to do, and I'll tell them what to do to get their promotion because I know how to do it. And she was like, Sammy, no.
But how do they learn?
How did they learn? And it was just such a I was like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? So she told me that by me doing that, I am limiting my team's ability to grow. And that was a really hard lesson for me to learn. I have been limiting my team's ability to grow by telling you, okay, place here, place here, place here, place here, you'll promote. Or here's your numbers, start with this one, or start with this one, or starting with this one, you'll promote. And by doing that, I'm taking responsibility away from you and your business. So, and this is hard for me to say, team, I'm not going to be giving charts out anymore. And that is hard for me to say. Jenna, I see your face. I know. So basically she said that you need to be telling, I see all these emojis coming.
No, there's a plan here. There's a plan.
You guys need to do your charts and then send them to me. And then I have to check them. That's my job. My job is to check them. That way you guys are doing it and learning. And I'm still able to help, but I'm not allowed to tell anymore. And giving lists, that's even us not making our team do power hours. I have this one girl, I asked her to be on a panel at my boot camp. And at first she was like, God, no, there's no way. I'm not going to be on a panel. And then she messaged me not even 2 hours later and was like, F it, I'm going to do it. It's going to be amazing. And then she did the panel and she was so great. She was so good. And it's one of those things where we don't ask our team outside of Team Savage to do power hours because it's scary, it's overwhelming, it's one of those things where it's hard to learn, but we need to push our teams to have more responsibility than what we give them. It's even posting. I know I still have some not newbies, people who've been in for a while, and they're like, what are we missing here?
There's like 15 different colors.
I can't see the emojis. This isn't fair. Teach newbies. Oh, yeah. Monique just said teaching newbies to do charting through a Zoom. And even letting your newbies, oh, yeah, you can do screen sharing. And so that everybody can see it. It's like, this is how we do it. This is how I do it. Write this down. Calculate this. I'm really excited for one of those reports coming out, but it's
like the whole charting thing kind of developed was missed a promotion 1 month by like. Do you want me to go into that story or not?
Oh, everybody knows. I missed a promotion by 15 volume. I missed another promotion by like 100 volume. I missed bonus after bonus. I missed shopping spree.
So like the ability to problem solve, think on the fly, and do what is happening. But is developed from learning.
There's 3 things that are going to happen. 1, when you give people responsibility, they're going to feel empowered. 2, you're not responsible anymore for mistakes that happen. 3, they're going to come to you with mistakes that you correct, and then they're not going to do them again. You're empowering your team, guys. So this is just, again, as a person who's a control freak, it was a hard lesson to learn for me, and it was only 2 days ago, and I feel so good about it. Another thing that she taught me, Jenna, you actually were onto this a little bit, but it's a little bit different from what you were doing. Sticky notes?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have any with people's name on it.
She got me she had me get 2 poster boards, and she made me start charting in a new way. So we usually do it with this. Write all the names in, do all the volumes, blah, blah, blah. But what she had me do is take a bunch of sticky notes and literally my triple diamond chart. She made me do this with my triple diamond. And I was like, girl, this is never going to work. And then she made it happen.
Oh, I think I know, like how I did it with the weird Post-it note thing? Is that what you're doing?
I didn't see your...
What's right here? So you got like the leader at the top, and then you got the Post-its on the top of those ones, and then you just put it in little groups?
You didn't really put it in groups. She wants you to actually structure it the way you see every chart. So this is a Ruby.
So you got your top line, you got your executive.
But doing this, if you're going for diamond, doing your whole diamond and the actual structure it is, and then putting their names, their ID numbers, and the volume they're at. But
say so-and-so stops working. Well,
but this is, yeah. The way she said it is, sticky notes can be changed. And that's one of the things that we find hardest to learn. So sticky notes can be changed. This person quits, put a different person's name over. But if that person comes back, you can always bring that person back in. Also, do you have another color? The pink right there, I see it.
Yeah, these are Post-its.
And then she was saying, if you have a problem part of your chart, so, this person's done, this person's done, this person's done, but this one needs a lot of volume, and put over it a different colored sticky note that represents this is where I need to work on. So say that one and that one need to be worked on, but everything else in purple is done. So this box is done, this box is done, this box is done, this box is done. But the ones that are in a different color that represent needing to be worked, they are the ones that and then it's like if you're going for Ruby, this would be perfect. But when you're going for triple diamond or diamond, you have a way bigger piece of paper. I went to the dollar store and got like huge pieces of poster board, like actual hard poster board. And I ended up having to put 2 together because it was a triple diamond chart. And so you do the whole thing, and then you just put the problem parts that you need to work on it. And you have to know that it's gonna change. Like maybe this person stopped working, so you had to put a new name there because you signed a new distributor, and you're like, okay, that maybe you stack that box with an actual worker. You need to put a new name there. So
And the benefit of doing that is, like she was saying, we get so fixated. We write our charts out at the beginning of the month. We're committed to that's the way it's going to be. You forget to look at everything.
Yeah. So you forget to look at everything, and then say another leader comes to you and you're like digging through these stacks of charts, and then it's just overwhelming, but you stick a big poster board on your wall that has your whole chart and your whole team and your whole promotion, and you know exactly where you're going to go. It's just, you're seeing the bigger picture, and you're going to work smarter and happier. It's all about being happier. So that's a fun new way of charting that she had me do, and I really love it. Like really, really love it. But also making sure that even though you have it all on your wall, that you're having your leaders do their chart, so that you know where you're working, but you know that your leaders know where they're working. So it's not just all on you. Yeah. Okay. We're almost at the end, guys. We're on the 3rd page notes. And then
I love this idea.
Yes. Okay. So she was saying, Apia is just amazing. I just love her. She said, we have a potential distributor list. We have a potential loyal customer list. The 3rd list you should have is a potential leaders list. Because not everybody that comes into this business is ready to be a leader. So why do we consider them a leader just because they're in a promotion position? Why do we consider them a leader just because we put 2 distributors under them? Why do we put all this pressure on us and on them, but they're not ready to be a leader? And then that's where we start placing distributors under them and telling them, contact this person, own your chart, blah, 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 but they're not ready. So then she was like, why not do a group that's for your potential leaders? Like, you can name it anything. You can name it,
well, the name doesn't matter, but
you can name it anything, like rock stars, Team Savage, blah, blah, blah.
Those are all taken.
But you can name it anything, and then put everybody that says, I'm going to be consistent this month. I have a big goal. I'm going to sign this many loyal customers. I'm going to be working every single day. I'm going to put in 10 hours a week. I am going to sign 5 loyal customers. Anybody who has a big goal and a commitment to the month.
But you just don't give them a pass. You just don't say, hey, you're in this leadership group. You're going to be a leader. No, there's a second part to this.
Sorry, to refresh my palate.
I was just covering you.
So what you're going to tell everybody is that if you want to be in the leadership group, you have to commit to doing this for 30 days or 31 days. And if you're going to commit to this, you have to be committed for every day. And if you miss 2 days in a row,
you're out of the group.
You're out. But you have to say it nicer. You have to be nicer about it. So it's saying something like, it's okay if you're not ready for this right now.
We're just going to remove you right now till you have the time to do it again.
Or no, so I'm running a 30-day program or a 60-day program. And if you're not ready, you can be in my Christmas group or you can be in my New Year's group. But right now I'm going to do a 90-day challenge or a 60-day challenge or a 31-day challenge. And if you want to be in this group, you can't miss more than, and you can make it 3 days. You don't have to make it 2 days. But just saying, if you're committed and you're in, I'll put you in. And then she said, it takes one person to change your chart. One person. So you might start off with 20 people and then end up with 3. And if you end up with 3, maybe 5, that's okay, because it only takes one person to change your chart. So that means, even for me, so I want to do this group. I haven't decided if we should do it as a group or as leaders or as
we could
maybe
try it.
I could do like leaders, boss diamonds and above, and then you guys can do your own. I don't know. We haven't decided that yet. Anyways, but it's just starting this group And then realizing that you yourself as leader, if you aren't consistent for 2 days, you have to kick your ass out. And that for me was like, oh my God, I've done that. I do that often. So I have to check myself and be honest. Did I actually spend good time on my business? Did I actually put out 20 hats? Did I actually message anybody today? Did I send out friend requests? And if I didn't, I wasn't consistent for 2 days, I'd have to kick my own butt out of the group. And that's scary for me. That is not something I'm okay with. And it's setting realistic goals for your team, but also a little bit past that. But I really like the idea of having potential leaders because those are your runners. But your runners aren't always ready for Ruby. Even if they're runners and people you check in with often when you go through the circle of influence, those people aren't ready for Ruby. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean we don't love them more and we still don't check in with them all the time and encourage them and help them. But if they're not ready, we need to work with the people who are ready.
And how many times can you guys honestly say you've asked yourselves, I don't know who to go with? Now you have a tool to determine that.
And then you're looking at your big poster board chart with all the stickies I used were yellow because that's like maybe to me in my brain, all the people that have yellow stickies on them. And I know that's where I'm going to work on my chart. It changes your mentality. And it's not that we don't love those people. We still love them. They're still our runners.
They're just not ready right now.
If they're not ready to do that push with you, why are we going to continue to try to push them to be somewhere where they're not? So, yeah, those were the biggest things for me. And then it was just realizing that no matter how far you get in this business and no matter how long you've been in this business, there's always something new to learn. There's always some way to try again. And I'm not somebody who's special that got to diamond. I'm not somebody special that got to double diamond, triple diamond. It's just being willing to learn and try new ways and realizing that even if you've been doing things sometimes that feels ass backwards, it's that you can still grow through that and teach these new good habits to your team. And I don't know. I was just so excited. And I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Do you guys have any questions or something you'd like to input?
I just missed that part about the colors on your charts. My internet got all fucky there. But sorry, oops. Sorry. But for the color thing, so are you putting, like, when you're doing your chart, like say you have just the Ruby chart and you have like the purple are the people that are working, and then you have the pink people who you need to get somewhere. But then like, are you putting all of the workers and non-workers on that leg in the Post-its? Like, so you got the 1, 2, 3, then you got the 1, 2. Are you stacking with the different colors of people who are working and not working, or I missed that part? Like, I
think I got that. Okay, so
yeah.
So
sorry.
For this, so I would say all of these people are working. Like if this person isn't working, turn them pink or yellow. I'm going to do yellow for mine because that just says like something's wrong in my brain because I hate yellow. So I would put yellow right here, and that's where people aren't working, the volume's low, and that's where my chart needs work. And if I find a worker, I don't know. I think I would also put a yellow, but just put a new name because you still need a lot of volume there, but you're going to coach that person.
Got it.
It's to identify who in that line is going to actually pick up the slack.
And you don't even have to like take that person's name off because God knows there's been so many people who've joined the team and then been stacked under somebody that all of a sudden comes back. Like there was somebody who just went Ruby that started working again, and it was crazy. So that's why she said Post-it notes are good, because you can always pull them off or put them back on. But yeah, so I would just, if you're stacking, put that name above that one and keep it yellow if the volume's still low, because you still need to work on that part of the chart.
Thank you. I just think that's a super cool concept. So I wanted to make sure I got it, because I'm going to do that like tonight. So many colors.
It's just a good excuse to buy a bunch of Post-it notes.
$20 kits. That hurt. Yeah, $20 kits. But they were better than $10 kits.
That is true. We did learn a little bit.
I actually had somebody that I had signed that wanted a refund for the $10 kit.
Oh my Lord.
I was like, there is over $100 worth of product in there. What are you talking about?
I'm just, hold on. I'm going to